Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Episode 213.
Is it?
Well, I'm just going by your note, so yes. Must be.
I count good.
Yeah, we count pretty good. That's a pretty high number to count to, too.
Takes a long time.
Does take a bit.
Let's start. 1, 2.
That's what this episode will be. We're going to count to 213. Big shout out to our patrons. Thanks everybody who resubbed up this week. We love your faces. Patreon gets you access to our After Dark, which is an extra weekly episode of us.
And last week might have been my favorite episode we have ever done in After Dark, except for maybe when we have our buddies or our wives on. It was the best. We'll get into it when we start talking about
private league stuff.
The private league, but oh my goodness, it might be my favorite episode we've ever done.
That's awesome.
My goodness, it was just the realizations that came from both of us as it tick, 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 as it progressed. Oh man.
It was a good time, but yeah, thank you, patrons. We love your faces. And if you're looking for more information, sign up for our Patreon. Come find out how awesome it is. What do we got, Ty? What did I see a note here? Oh yeah, because yeah, I see your note about if you are in the top 3 of your class, make sure you let me or Ty know so we can make sure you're legend.
Yeah,
in Discord.
Because like your Path of Exile account name is not going to match your Discord name in many cases, and we're not really going to guess. I mean, some of them are relatively obvious, but others aren't. So if you were in the top 3 of any class in our private league, private message Justin or I.
Yep, we'll make sure
put you as a legend. Give you the legend role in our Discord. So everybody, every time you speak, people are going to be like, "Oh,
listen to that person."
This person knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, congrats, Waza, on your first place. I give you Uber Legend. Just the single skull. Nobody's hit the triple yet. We've got 1 double skull. Nobody's at the trips.
But great job, Waza.
Yep, well done. That was awesome. And it was a lot of fun. The private league was fun. I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but...
I did make a little bit of a mistake with the prizes, though. We were only rewarding alive characters prizes, including the lottery that we were doing for anybody that finished above you and anybody that finished above me. And but I forgot to change the description for yours. So it was any account. So for me, it was any account with a character living that had more XP than my highest character. But for yours, I forgot to change it and said any account with a character living or dead with more XP than Tags. But little Kazan, I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name, but little Kazan won that lottery and they were alive. So it was good. I didn't have to secretly re-roll it and not tell anybody.
That's
so
awesome.
It was good. It worked out. But yeah,
your prize packages, you'll probably have them by the time this thing airs, hopefully. But Justin is just dealing with the wonderful world of grinding gear games when it comes to trying to give them money. They're stupid. It's so I'm going to say it every private league because it happens every private league, but it amazes me how difficult of a company they are to just give money to.
You're talking about like gift cards.
Yeah, when you're trying to like, so we send them off a message and we say, hey, we just finished our private league. I introduce myself every single time. We do a podcast. It's called Forever Exiled. It's based on Path of Exile. We run a private league every single league. People compete for prizes. These are we've got some winners this year. This league. This is, can I get a prize card? I always say, I list out what we need. And then I say, can you just, tell me how I can do this in the least amount of transactions as possible, just because it's a pain in the butt to do multiple transactions, especially because when you have to do a bunch at the same price, sometimes Steam starts to error out because you're doing like 5 of the same purchases in a row. So it thinks that there's something wrong. And every time response back is like, well, we need to know some more information. What's going on? It boggles me. And my response this time was literally what you had kind of jokingly messaged me, which was, we do this every league. People compete. We have fun and we award prizes for fun. It's so weird. Like, I'm just trying to give you money. Just take the money. We've talked about this so many times before, but their ability to gift stuff to people in this game is weird. And I've seen people comment before that it's because of like real money trading stuff, but I don't care. That's not my problem. Like,
it's totally irrelevant because like, how many other companies can you do that for?
Right.
Like gift cards, like you can figure it out.
Right.
it's just an old school system, and that's the way they still do things. Like, hey, can we pay for some gift codes so that we can reward our community members for this event that we put on? Well, we can look into the possibility of this. Blah, 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 blah. Once we have this information, we may be able to look into this further.
Right.
Like, we're talking like $200.
Yeah, it's like $250. I was laughing myself yesterday after they sent the email back. I was like, we just should start giving out money. Like, we'll make a PayPal and send us your PayPal email address, and we're just going to send you the money. And if you want to spend it on grinding your games, go for it. And if not, spend it on whatever you want. It's so silly.
Imagine if they don't have a good gifting system ready to go for when Path of Exile 2 comes out. Like, I'm never going to forget Chris saying he expects Lost Ark 2 numbers, or Lost Ark numbers, whatever it is, Lost Ark or Lost Ark 2, whatever it was. And I don't disagree with that. I think Path of Exile 2 is going to get an astronomical amount of new traffic, let alone returning traffic. If you don't have this stuff set up, like, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
What is the risk? What am I don't get the RMT thing, because what would I be doing? Like, I would be buying a package to do what? Like, to provide a code to somebody to give me something in game? Is that the idea? Because couldn't I just give them money? I don't understand. Like, I struggle to understand where this risk is of people doing something nefarious with trying to give grinding your games money. But anyway, they are coming. I did finally get a response back.
Oh, you got the codes?
No, I don't have the codes. I just got a response back this morning. So I got to go on and buy the actual stuff that this person said. But
they've approved the thing. You have
they've instructions
for
not instructions. They want me to buy every single thing individually, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to buy the 3 packages that I have to buy, but then for the other things, I'm just going to buy the points that equal it. Because if I try to do that many 50s, I get it's blocked me before, where Steam is like, no, you can't do that many transactions in a row. It's
hilarious that you can't just spend like $200 and then they give you different codes to
you can. They just don't want to tell you that they can. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy like 2 200s and 150 or so. I don't know what I'll do, but as long as I have the amount of points that's required, and they're always like, don't spend any points and don't do. Yes, I'm aware. Thank you.
It's so crazy.
But anyway, point things. Hopefully we'll have them to you by the time this actually airs. But yeah, it's always some hoops to jump through. It's really fun. We were talking about it in Discord actually this week, because one of the listeners was saying that they couldn't buy a package or something that they wanted to gift to you. And it's true, because you have to provide like social insurance number. You got to provide like, what does that person do for a job? How many children do they have? And, what are their life goals? And then we'll think about if we can help you out. So anyway, how was your week?
Oh, it was good. It was good. The prizes, when we do send out the codes, they're going to be on your Path of Exile account.
Always.
Private message on your Path of Exile account. Mm-hmm. Just to make sure that we're actually giving it to the actual winner, not somebody on Discord who's pretending to be. Yeah. My week was fine. I almost ended up in jail multiple times. You can thank Halloween for that.
Did you go out with the kids, or what'd you do?
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. So my wife was on call, so she had to stay home. She was handing out the candy, and my daughter wanted to go out with her cousins, and my son really wanted to go with his best bud. So I went with Oliver and his best bud and his best bud's dad, and we walked around, and we dropped off Violet with her cousins on the other side of town. And so Violet just went with them and her aunt and uncle and had a great time. And my son had a fantastic time, but he's and his friend, they're good kids. You know what I mean? Like, they're not spazzy, they're not dramatic. So some people in our neighborhood for Halloween, instead of like interacting with kids the whole night for the hour and a half or whatever that people are going around trick-or-treating, they'll just put out a bowl and just expect the honor system. Well, almost every bowl that my kids went to was empty. Right? So, you could assume the worst and be like, okay, these are just some teenage punks that are just pouring the whole freaking thing into their bag, and then off they go. But there were some busy groups, and it was actually quite busy in our neighborhood this time around. So like, okay, benefit of the doubt, not going to go there in my mind, going to think best of people. And there's a lot of really, like, I have a lot of judgment checks in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be a kid who lives close by. He's got a lowered Beamer, and he's got his his magnet on saying that he's a new driver. That's something that we have to do in our area. Like there's a progressive driver system. So they have their little sticker, the little magnet that says I'm a new driver, but they've got like their lowered BMW and all that kind of stuff. But they're the nicest kid in the world. Like they'll stop. They're the kind of person where at a crosswalk, they'll stop like 50 meters away instead of really close. They're just really, so, you get that, like, as a parent, you get that little like, oh, they're going to be like driving really fast all the time and all that. But no, they're like the sweetest kids. So I got a lot of positive judgment checks. Great teenagers in our area. So I'm like, okay, not going to go down that road. It's just, a lot of groups, a lot of busy stuff. So we start progressing down and going through the different areas, and there's like fireworks and firecrackers going off in the middle of massive groups. Mm-hmm. Like they're just like in the middle of the street, and there's tons of kids and families around, and they're just setting them off like nothing wrong could ever happen. Justin, seriously, if I went to jail for like murdering 1,000 teenagers, I wouldn't feel bad. I'd get an extra 25 years just because I have no remorse. It would have been, but they were everywhere. Like it wasn't just one group being a tit. They were everywhere. It was crazy. Like, and the police were insanely busy that whole night because I don't know what water they were drinking, but apparently it was like that all over the place. It was nuts. And then when my brother-in-law dropped off my daughter, he was saying that he saw a whole bunch of teens just like dumping those bowls into their bags. So now I just basically wish I murdered every teenager I saw. And I probably would have had a great time. Yeah, it is. Especially because like I was joking with my son's friend's dad that I was walking with. And I'm like, like his kids are around the same age. And I'm like, what age should you force your kids to not trick or treat anymore? I think I'm going to start asking for ID. And if they can provide ID, I'm telling them to F off. I think, like, go find something else to do.
I think one of the reasons people leave those bowls out is because they're doing what you're doing, which is they're going out trick or treating with their kids. Sure. And so that's the only way to do it.
Yep.
But it's just the nature that some kids are going to, there was a video just during this Halloween somewhere in the States that was going viral of this mom running up to this house with her kids and just like jacking all of the candy and kind of laughing about it. And I was like, oh, as a parent, that's embarrassing. Like I can, not that I like it, but I can excuse 13, 15, 16-year-old because their brains are mush. They're stupid. But as an adult, if you're doing that and encouraging your kids to do that, you are an embarrassment. Like that's really bad, especially when there's other kids out. Christina takes the kids out and I stay home and hand out candy. And I would love to just leave stuff outside because then I don't have to keep going to the door. But I also know if I caught you on camera just emptying my bowl, I'm going to chase you down.
That's right.
I'm going to chase you down. So yeah, it's too bad though.
So my kids had a wonderful time. My daughter had the best time in the world with her cousins, and all she can talk about are other people's costumes or how many Skittles she got. Like that's the first thing she separates all the candy and just makes sure she has some Skittles in there. And my son, he had a great time with his buddy. They were really nervous because it really was quite dangerous. Like the other dad and I were quite nervous with the amount of dangerous situations we had to avoid and just hope, that firework aims the opposite direction because they were, hitting houses with stuff. Like it was insane. So unfortunately, my son was quite nervous, but by the end of the day, he enjoyed it quite a lot. And we've let them for the last few days just pig out as much as they want in their candy. And now we're going to start with the restrictions, yeses and nos and all that. But it was fun. They really enjoy it. Of course, it's Halloween, right? Mm-hmm. How about, I also, actually, we've had a ton of rain, small little
crazy rain
atmospheric river. Nothing like we had where it was dangerous, but still it's a lot. And we had a leak.
Oh no.
But nothing that we did with the perimeter drain that we spent absurd amounts of money to fix. The people that used to live in our house were do-it-yourselfers, and I'm sure it worked really well for them. But unfortunately, every do-it-yourselfer thing is now starting to fade. And so the water protection, like the little things you do, like sealant and like where you put the rubber floppy stuff that goes on the doors and all that, they didn't do it anywhere correctly or anywhere close to code. So when the wood, that frame underneath the door starts soaking, it starts dripping under the stairs. And we just had too much rain. So Had to come up with some short-term fixes for that because it's just been way too much rain and wind. But unfortunately, we have a long-term expense coming. Got to replace the door frame to fix it permanently.
Yeah, we have to do that too. That sucks.
So yeah, add that to the list. So anyway, my Momo's just murdered people for fun, murdered people that deserved it, and all that kind of stuff. It was a anti-murder week.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was great.
You didn't kill anybody, so
no, I didn't.
It's a plus.
And so you did Halloween. How would your kids?
Halloween was fun. My son was super happy because he won first place at his high school for his costume.
Really? Good for him.
With his spring trap guy from FNAF.
Right.
Yeah. So my kids love Halloween. They go out and Christina takes them down towards her parents' place, and like where we live, we're on a bit of a hill and we're not on the side with the sidewalk, so we don't get a ton of kids coming by. But there was more this year than normal. But you're right, the fireworks are crazy. Like I've never seen my dog like she was on Halloween night. She would, because I was working in here, so I had my cameras up on my top monitor just so I could see if a kid came up to the door so I could go out and give them stuff. She would not leave. She never goes right under my feet, like right under my desk. She's always like off to the side or on her bed or something. She would not leave underneath, and she was panting and shaking the whole time because of all the fireworks. And like to the point where at one point I thought she had pissed under my bed because the panting she was drooling so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever. Kids always like Halloween. The rest of my week was great. It was super busy. I'm sick again, which is annoying as balls. But
you can't tell because you drug yourself up to the nines.
Oh, to the nines. Yeah, give me as much as I can get so I can make it through the day. That being said, by the end of the day, I'm like, I'm done. Last night I was doing tequila shots to stop my throat from hurting, and it worked.
makes sense.
It worked. We were watching a show last night, and I think by the end of the night, by the end of the first or second show, I think I'd finished 6 shots of tequila. Christina's like, "You're gonna get sick." I'm like, "It'll be better than a sore throat."
Oh, that's funny. Sorry you're sick. So, what were you watching?
I want to say it's called The Gilded Age or something. It's kind of like a Downton Abbey style show, but it's based in America in the early 1800s. It's actually been pretty good. She had heard about it somewhere, so she suggested we watch it, and I was like, I am fine with whatever. So yeah, we finished the Wheel one, and I'm watching one on my own, but I don't have much time to watch it. But Chernobyl, it was on, I think, Apple TV or something, but it's the story of like obviously Chernobyl and stuff. It's actually been really good. But yeah, so my week though was fine. Like it was really, really busy with work, but that was kind of fine. They had a take your kid to work day on Wednesday across like a lot of parts of BC.
Okay.
So it's grade 9 kids go to work with the parents. So Logan went with Christina because I was like, no.
You do not need to see me swear in meetings.
Yeah, that's right. It would be pretty boring. So yeah, he went and did that, which was fun. And yeah, it was a good week. I didn't get a whole, I feel like we've done so many episodes now that I think sometimes some of our conversations are rehashed or I brought them up before, but I'm in a point right now, and I don't know if it's just because it's so busy with work or I haven't been feeling great, but I'm just not in a video game space. Like if I get a little bit of time, I'm like, I don't really want to load something up because I know I'm not going to be here for long, and I'm not going to, I played the private league for a bit up until we recorded After Dark, and then we did play Age of Empires.
Yeah,
which was fun. And then I haven't done we did F1, so that was fun, but that was kind of my video game for the week. So just the week was good though. It's really busy with work, but it's fun right now, so just a lot of stuff to prep for in the coming weeks. So yeah,
cool.
I have nothing to say about the lawn. This water though was crazy. The rain the last 2 days, like last night we were sitting in the living room watching TV, and we're both like, it's gonna come through the house. Like you start to hear it, and it was just like so loud. But yeah, my lawn is just doing its thing.
Well,
it's getting wet.
Yeah, and it's too cold to do anything about it now. Like the evenings just, I mean, we'll have a week this week where it's maybe 5 degrees.
But that's about it.
You're gonna be doing your last mow. It's not gonna grow.
We're definitely getting cold. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's now it's just wait until spring.
Yep.
Enjoy the green and all the blank spaces we might have until the snow comes. And then the snow will melt and we'll see even more blank spaces. And then we get excited for the end of February.
That's right. Oh, hey, just a little plug. Don't forget to hit that 5-star on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I was like, I'm going to remind myself to say it. And I picked a random time to say it. Thanks if you have.
Excellent job. Excellent job.
What do we got this week in PoE?
Date math always messes me up, especially because like we don't. Well, obviously we don't, because it takes time and effort to fix all these episodes up. But I always get messed up with like when certain dates are going to happen based on when we release this. But I don't know. You never say, I don't know. Do you say Happy Remembrance Day or have a somber or pensive Remembrance Day? Have a thankful Remembrance Day?
Well, anyway, I think you could just say nothing and just say Remembrance Day is coming.
Remembrance Day is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you're thankful for everything on the coming Remembrance. I don't know how to say it, but anyway, it's Remembrance Day is coming up, and it always puts me in a somber mood, but a very thankful and somber mood. So Remembrance Day is coming up for us folk. Not sure when everybody else, I know America celebrates it at the same time, but I don't know what other people do in other countries. That'd be something interesting to look up. But anyway,
November 11th for us.
Thankful Remembrance Day.
You can you can say Happy Remembrance Day. I mean, you can be happy for remembering the people that have done things for us. So not that, I don't know.
So Justin, you already ragged on Path of Exile for having the worst gifting system that could possibly exist for a company. Especially when they don't even gift physical products. It's just digital stuff, digital points, digital MTX, digital everything. So interesting that it's not that easy to get your hands on. So you've already ragged on them a little bit. But did you know, while we're on the subject of ragging, that the Trial of the Ancestors boss kill event is done?
Dude, when I saw that post, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, it's brutal. There's not even information in there on. I love how they're like, well, go and you can see more information here. Nuh-uh. If I go there, all I see is what the prizes are. I don't see the state of it. I don't see.
Right.
Yes, I saw that.
So
post.
It's called
good job.
Trial of the Ancestors boss kill event. Keyword event. And the posting. Congratulations to everybody, and some fantastic. I mean, goodness me, like to do all that and to take that long and to have that kind of commitment. So good job to everybody there. And I do like that they have, like, it's all included, the PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all the same post, same world, very inclusive. Love it. And good luck picking all your prizes. But it is hilarious. Now, what I actually want to do, Justin, can you go to private leagues and see if you can create a private league?
You won't be able to, because they're just going to keep it running for an indeterminate amount of time. Their tweet was like, and it will continue ... Nope, you still can't make hardcore solo self-found ancestor, because why would you? There's a boss kill event still going on, sort of, kind of running, but no, you can't create one still. It's cool that they posted something about like, hey, here's the I mean, they call it Trial of the Ancestors boss kill event winners, but then they say there's still prizes to be won. And the event's still ongoing.
And right. And so it's interesting, because how would anybody know unless you pay attention and read every single announcement, how would you know that there is an event at all? Because let's see, what did they just announce? They have the 3 like end of league week-long or 10-day long events that started, Crangled is coming up, and the Blast from the Past or Legacy or whatever they're calling it. So now if you go to their website and click on events, you'll see those 3 events there.
Cool.
Yeah, so you click events, then season and events, and then you see they have the calendar there, and that's really cool. You can click on Crangled, Blast from the Past, and it unfortunately doesn't, when you click on the link, all it does is bring up like a leaderboard, which I mean, that's way better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. It tells you when it starts, when it ends. That's nice. It doesn't have within that site, unfortunately, it doesn't have a link to the announcement where it shows you, the point of the event or what you can win or anything like that. But they actually have something in the events. And it is hilarious to me that they don't have some sort of format. Like, if you have an event that's happening for an indeterminate amount of time, you don't have to like put it in a calendar. You could just have like
just
something.
A click. Give me a clicky.
Something. Right. So anyway, I thought that would piss you off.
Oh, it did. It did. I saw the tweet for it and I was like, because even in the tweet, they said that it's still continuing to go on. And I was like, well, then why are you announcing the winners? I don't understand. Like, is it over? Is it not over? That just seems very odd to me.
Yeah.
But you know
Probably
what?
Some of the smaller prizes, side
do
prizes.
Your boss event every year, GGG. Every league, do a boss event. I don't even care if you don't make an event for it, show it on the calendar. Just stop restricting that league format. It's so unnecessary. That was my nice word for stupid. But
yeah, I like it when people say what their rude word would have been after they choose to be polite.
I just want to make sure they're aware that I wanted to say stupid, but I was being kind.
And now they'll never know what you were truly thinking.
But so anyway, congrats to those winners. But yeah, come on, Grinding Gear Games. Yeah, you can do better.
Awesome stuff. So what else? Then there's things happening. Mystery box, Krangled events, couple patches came out, but they were just hot fixes for crashes. The season 12 bloopers were funny.
Best video. I freaking love those.
Them. Yeah, very funny. And the little things they do, like they add to the video just with to make audio it more funny. To make. Yes, I love all those changes. Very creative, very fun.
We do a lot of video for internal stuff, social media stuff, and my favorite is when we have the bloopers from those shoots, because it's always full of swears and it's just funny to listen and hear people screw up. And he was so fun to listen to, because even he was like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, that's so pretty funny. Awesome.
Yeah,
very good. And I love it when you say swears. It's like I don't know, for some reason swears is like a kid's term for swear words or profanity.
Explicits, profanities.
So I don't know. I just like it when I don't know. It's for some reason every time an adult says swears, I'm like, oh, that's cute. They must have kids. And then GG came out with another one of their YouTube videos rendering in Path of Exile. I actually
watched that one because it was one that I missed during ExileCon. We never watched his thing on rendering.
And I'm sure you wrote down everything that we didn't hear, and we're going to talk about it, right?
Well, so it's funny because when we went to PAX West and we spoke to, I don't remember who it was, but we were talking about the fact that he was a biologist and like super smart. And he said, oh, if you think
Jason or
no,
yeah, we were speaking with him on the right-hand side, and he was the one that deals with skills.
Yeah. Yep. I know who there was, but it wasn't Jason.
It was Jay. Pretty sure it was a Jay.
Well, anyway, James. It was James.
Yes. See?
Yeah.
I got
close. But he had mentioned like, oh, if you want to talk smart, you got to hear Alexi, or I can't remember exactly what his name is, do the rendering talk. So I was like, oh, I'm going to check it out, because he was the second person to actually mention to me that they thought that rendering talk was really good. So I did watch it. There's things in life that you see or you hear that make you realize just how stupid you are, or they kind of help emphasize that, there's areas that you're an idiot in. That was one of them. Holy crap. Like, it was great. It was really cool seeing all the different stuff that they do and how they do it and stuff. But I felt dumb watching that one. It was very good. But yeah, you got to have like the mind for what he's talking about. Because I was like, what do you mean? You don't just like make a shadow? It's crazy how much goes into it.
So I can't watch it while doing the laundry. I need to sit down with some popcorn and eat it.
You're going to have the same attention span regardless.
It's just going to zone out.
It doesn't. Yeah, you're going to be hearing the words, but not totally understanding. That being said, it is really cool to see somebody who is like passionate and so understanding, explaining it to people. Sure. So that was really cool.
And you know what? They actually picked some fantastic employees for all that, or they're very good at hiring in that regard, whether they hire people that are very passionate about that specific thing or the game, whatever it is, because every time they do have somebody speaking, this time around anyway, my memory's starting to fade on ExileCon 1, but every single person that spoke about what they were asked to speak about really liked what they did.
Yeah.
Really liked it a lot. Even if it just came from like concept art or music or sound effects or story writing, like it was all just they really were excited about what they were doing. Yes.
Yeah. I think we talked about that in our ExileCon videos as well, or episodes as well, was the fact that, yeah, we were maybe things we didn't agree with, things we didn't want or whatever. But I think we said like, it's super clear just how passionate they are though about the game, which is awesome. That's what you want to see.
Yep.
So yeah, it was good to watch, but felt a little dumb.
That's not new for you.
You're right.
So this week also, I like it when my Google feed shows me Path of Exile news.
Okay.
And sometimes my Google feed lets me know at the same time that subscribing to Path of Exile's YouTube channel lets me know. So sometimes it is that fast when like they have a new video or something like that. But the website, the spinoff, had a pop culture article just before Halloween, and it said the decade-long success of Path of Exile, and it was written by Sam Brooks. And it was a very fun read. Like none of it's going to be new to players like you or I who have been fans and play consistently for forever. I mean, it feels like a decade for me. It obviously hasn't. It has been for you. But it just goes through, you know, like their system and how they went through it and how they've survived for so long, what they do. But I always like reading these articles anyway, even though it's not new to me, because it reminds me, like, you know, so far we've been in this episode unedited for 35 minutes and we've ragged on GGG, right? On two separate things.
Not game related.
No, not game related. Yeah. But I mean, goodness me, the whole reason I'm excited for Path of Exile 2 is because there's so much in Path of Exile 1 that I hate. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to what it would be like with all those things that I hate. But that's like that with any game you play consistently on a regular basis. But it is nice for me to read these articles because it just reminds me about all the stuff that I take for granted. You know, all the stuff that I really do enjoy, but I'm focusing on the negative things. So it was a good read for me. I quite enjoyed it. And it's obviously because it just came out about a week ago. It talks about the newer stuff, like the newest ExileCon, Trials of the Ancestors, the future of the game, where it's going, has some really good quotes, of course. GGG is not very good at consolidating their interviews. You know what I mean? Like as a fan, if you want to hear every interview that Chris or Jonathan has said, you have to like really go on a big Google search to go find everything that all the interviews that they've had regarding Path of Exile 2. And so when one of these comes across my lap, I'm quite thankful. And yeah, so anyway, it was a good article. I recommend any listeners that are listening to Google search the spinoff, the decade-long success of Path of Exile. And no matter where you're at with the game right now, it'll be nice. It'll be rejuvenating and it'll give you a good appreciation for the company and the game.
Where they've come from, yeah.
Yes, definitely. Because remember, they started in the garage. That's cool.
It's impressive.
It is. So neither of us played Path of Exile this week, but we did play in the private league, technically. You want to give any of our After Dark listeners a little bit of a taste on how your league ended?
Well, our After Dark listeners know how my league ended.
Sorry, did I say After Dark listeners or did I mean our non-After Dark listeners? Well, you know what I mean. The people that aren't in After Dark. Would you like to tell them how your private league ended?
My private league ended in death, as it typically does. I was 86. Yeah, I was a bar away from 87. And you know what? The private league, I'm not going to spoil it. If you want to know exactly how my private league ended, then you have to listen to After Dark 212. But it was, it ended in death, as it most often does. The private league was actually a lot of fun. This was the first time we've ever done a trade one, so it was not a solo self run. It was still hardcore. We got a lot of good feedback actually from people that really enjoyed the trade side of it. So I'm kind of up to trying that in future ones. The fact is, Grinding Gear Games isn't changing their boss kill event structure and how they do stuff, so we kind of are forced to start finding some new alternatives and ways to play. So this was a fun one. I would rather do trade is available but it's still hardcore versus trade's not available and it's not hardcore.
To me, hardcore is kind of a must with this short event like this.
Yeah, it's fun for a 10-day event. And also, like, if you think back to when we first started doing the private leagues, it was to put you and I outside of our comfort zone and then to have fun with everybody. And hardcore is the best way to put us both out of our comfort zone. By
for
far,
you and
it
I,
is,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what the basis was when we first started, with like 20 people that used to play with us in the beginning.
It's all
so
about us.
100%. But it was fun actually to do non-SSF. People had a lot of good fun. There was a lot of like chatter in 21. There was a lot of people trading. There was, I ransacked the guild stash twice just for fun. But it was, I had a good time with it. It was actually really enjoyable, and the feedback was surprisingly good. I wasn't sure where people would fall with that, and it seemed like people really enjoyed the option to trade. So,
well, with the group of people that we have this go around, we didn't have any, as far as we know, we didn't have any tits doing stupid trades. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of people giving stuff away as they found it, but there weren't people that were giving up or offloading their gear to someone else to cheer that person on instead of someone else. Like, it was either some people were trading fairly or giving away equally, but there wasn't favoritism with, oh, this person always wins, so let's, give all this person, the second place person, all this good stuff and see if they can, like, that's what I get really worried about when you have a competition that isn't solo self-found. And there wasn't any of that. And so it was really nice to see everybody's generosity within a competition that, I mean, for us, they're big prizes, but maybe.
Well, and there was a lot of people I think I saw on Discord, people were saying that Tool, who was really big into Toda, was given a bunch of 6 links away, which is fun. Like that, the nature of the private leagues we do are not supposed to be uber competitive, because really we're not giving away like a lot of insane prizes. We do have a couple that were really good, but the idea is just to have fun with the community. So I liked it, and I was happy with the positive feedback that we got from it. So we'll have to see what we do next league. But the fact is, we have to come up with alternatives, and this might be a good one.
Yes,
because we're forced into it.
Agreed.
How was your? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to congratulate everybody again, because I can't remember the beginning of the episode. So congratulations, everybody. Artemzor/Waza for your legendary status. And I mean, 99 in hardcore. Who doesn't get 100, right? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so many amazing deaths, rip clips, really, really successful characters that were created, and a nice variety of builds too, despite the fact, of course, Guardian, because of its current state, was the busiest class/ascendancy, but it definitely didn't dominate the top. Like, you have Elementalist, Pathfinder, Occultist, Slayer, Juggernaut, Guardian, like the Saboteurs up there, I already said Champion, but yeah, anyway, it's like there was a nice variety of people, despite the fact that there were some pretty good go-tos, and so it was just overall, it was a very refreshing time, and I really hope people had fun, and congratulations to the people that are amazing, and I hope the people that aren't amazing had just as fun of a time. But I had a good league. I mean, I died from something that irritates the hell out of me, and it was
I'm trying to remember what you died to.
It was just those after death purple chaos exploding crystals, but it's not just like one. It's like they come in groups of 4 in like a linear line, and like I don't know. But I was reeling from the fact that I hate Toda, and it was so bloody boring, and I wasn't using my build in Toda. Like, it was, I got in a conversation with somebody on in Reddit about that. Like, I really hope Toda doesn't go core, because I'm not actually using my character. Like, it's about movement speed and movement skills, and then you just don't get it. Like, it doesn't matter which character you use as long as you can do that, and that to me defeats the purpose of Path of Exile. So that's just my opinion, but I'm playing the game, and I'm playing Toda, and I'm not enjoying it. This is in our private league, and I'm just so like frustrated by, like, that's not what I want to play. So, and I know I can choose to not play. So after a while, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to use up my silver coins, but this is really stupid. And I was totally zoning out and frustrated. And as a result of that attitude, I was not paying attention. And I got killed by enough on death effect that normally does get me anyway. Like, I don't know what it is, but I can't see it. Those purple crystals, it's for some reason, it always seems to blend into the environment until it's too late. And I don't know if it's like it has too short a cast time, if they're too big, whatever it is, but I've never react on time. The only times I don't die to that purple crystal on death effect is by chance. There were a few times while leveling through the campaign that, I mean, then the campaign. On death, huge chaos. I assume it's chaos because it's purple. Damage, like what the heck? But anyway, like I ran across that a few times in the campaign, and the only reason I lived is because I didn't see it, and I just kept moving forward. That was it. I was complete fluke. So anyway, that's frustrating to me. I was 71. I think that was a record for me.
That was your highest too,
yes,
right?
I think so. And so I was 71, and I was trying not to die, but the attitude that I was in, and but it wasn't discouraging because the build was really good. Like outside of the Act 4 piety fight where she's the bleed from the Shop of Little Horrors. She like outside of that, I had no scary encounters. The build was solid. It was progressing fine. Good damage, good defense. And I was getting crappy drops too. Like I was really struggling to be capped. I was using Purity of Elements because I was not getting like, it's funny. Like if you have 10 rare rings drop, you think one of them would have some resists. No. Outside of the ones that give you that on the implicit, like the split ones you get in Act 6 or whatever it is.
Do you craft?
I wasn't getting any.
Do you use your bench at all while you're leveling?
Sometimes, yeah, I do when I need it. It depends on what my needs are at the time, right? Whether I'm using it for flasks or this or that. But I was forced to use Purity of Elements just because I was getting absolutely nothing dropping.
I used it the whole time too.
I was having a really tough time with my sockets. Like there were certain color combos that should be easy to get. Like if I have a strength ES helmet, it should be pretty easy for me to get like 2 blue, 2 red, or 1 blue, 2 red. And I'd go through like 15 chromatics, not getting it. And I'm like, you got it. How am I getting 2 green every time? Like it was just one of those things. So anyway, my point is things were not going my way almost the whole experience, and it was fine. So it wasn't discouraging in terms of like the build was crappy or my play style was not suiting hardcore. It was just the dumb thing. And I know I gotta pay attention to that, and it's part of the hardcore experience, all those things. So hopefully as we got in the conversation, I think it was an After Dark, curious to see how far they go in Path of Exile 2 with on death effects, because it's one of my least favorite parts about the current game.
I thought my Guardian build was probably one of my strongest I'd played in a hardcore.
It was really good.
I actually had a lot of fun. I think I mentioned it to you in After Dark last week, but one of the things I find every time we do a private league is I've almost always tried something new. I've done RF though quite a few times, but quite often I find myself going like, man, I'd really love to try this where I'm less scared and more open to just finding trades. Like we had trades, but if I was going to be looking for a specific, modifier or something, then I would be using the trade site for it. So it would be a fun build to try like a full league start with, and like where I could actually fully trade. We'll have to wait and see what changes and what new stuff comes out with 323. But yeah, it was fun. The event was fun. I had a really good time with it, and I'm glad other people enjoyed it too. For sure.
You know what the reason for my success in this private league was though? Well, I picked up every scroll of wisdom.
That's why you were successful.
Okay. That is why I was successful, because
makes sense.
I find that as I don't pick those up, I start to get apathetic. Like, no, I'm fine. No, I'm progressing fine. And I get this attitude where I'm like, no, I'm doing fine. But if I remember where
Scrolls of Wisdom remind you of just how garbage you are.
No, Scrolls of Wisdom remind me where I came from. You know what I mean? Okay. Like at the beginning of the Axe and Soul Self-Found first playthrough, you're like, I need them. I need to identify. I need this. And you like, you actually, and quite often when you're league starting in Soul Self-Found, you're like, you don't have enough and you're actually saving your Scrolls of Wisdom. Do I use it on this item or do I not? And I like that. And so it's kind of like that attitude of being careful and thoughtful sticks with me. But as soon as I start skipping that Scrolls of Wisdom stuff, then all of a sudden I'm overconfident and I'm flying through and I'm like, I'm fine. It's like it changes the mentality. So every time I go back to pick up a Scroll of Wisdom to make sure I maintain my attitude, I always think about Jenny from the Block. Jennifer Lopez. I'm still Jenny from the Block. Because she says, what does she say? Something like, I used to have a little, now I have a lot, but I'm still Jenny from the Block or something like that. So that's what I think of every single time a scroll of once I get to that point where I don't need Scrolls of Wisdom, but I go back to get it. I'm remembering where I came from, Justin.
Used to have a little, now I have a lot.
Yeah. So every time I go back and pick one, I'm still Jenny from the block. So it's pretty awesome.
Cute.
Yep. And I also joined Chat 2121 on console.
Oh, does console have online chatting? I guess it would make sense that they do.
Yeah, and it's garbage because you have to use the console keyboard with your analog sticks to type. Oh. That, or you have like your Xbox app up, and because you can do whenever. Yeah, you can. So whenever, like if you have your Xbox app up and then you bring up the keyboard, you can use that. But honestly, like who really does that? Can you talk
when you have the Xbox app up? To have it, like, can you speak into the keyboard to have it?
As long as I'm using like my Google keyboard to type into the app. Yeah. Like I would with, I can voice text to it.
Okay. Speaking of Google, I was going to bring one thing up real quick. Is that all right?
Yeah. Do your thing.
It has nothing to do with Path of Exile. Okay. I have Spotify for the family. Like I have Spotify for myself, my wife, I have both my parents on it and my son on it. And I set it up in my house with my account. And you just said Google. This is what made me think of it. My kids are always like, my girls are always in the living room or the family room, and they're talking to Google and saying like, play, I don't know, some like song that I don't even know. Or, well, it connects to my account with Spotify because I set it up in the house. They have destroyed my Spotify randomness, like where I just let the Spotify AI DJ pick songs. Quite often when I go into the bathroom in the morning, I'll turn my phone on, sync it up, and then it plays music in my bathroom. And so I'm having a shower. Today I'm in the shower and all of a sudden I hear, I don't even know how it starts. It's a Spice Girl song. It's like, people around the world. I'm like in the shower. I'm like, what the hell's happening right now? And in order to get it to skip a song, I have to tell Google to skip the next song. Those ladies don't shut up through the whole song enough that I can yell at Google from within the shower. Anyway, you said Google. It reminded me that my girls have destroyed my Spotify. It happens sometimes where I'm in my car driving to an appointment. If it's in the afternoon and they're off school, and I'll be like listening to a podcast, listening to music, and all of a sudden my music turns off in my car. I'm like, what the? I reset it up, play it, does it again. So then I have to broadcast from my phone, like, stop turning off my music so that it broadcasts through my house. Anyway, sorry.
You'd think there'd be a better system by now. It's not like smart home systems.
I looked it up online. It's ridiculous. Like what I have to do is like voice train all of my Google account, like Google Homes in the house, to like their voices to be connected to a different. I don't give them a Spotify account. Like it's weird that I can't do something else. So anyway, sorry, back to PoE.
No, you're good. You're good. And then I had so anyway, I joined Chat 2121 console.
Were people chatting in 2121?
No. Goodness me.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think you might be the only one there.
I don't expect to ever talk into it. I'm just like, you know what? I should do this. And I joined Chat 2121. Took me 4 tries because I didn't know how to join global chat. But it does tell you in the game. I just didn't look at it. So I was just being an idiot. But I finally joined it. And then I said, hello.
Just said, there's nobody here.
That's right. I'm all alone. So I said, hello. And then I waited for 5 seconds. I got the expected silence and then turned the console off. But Path of Exile confused me this week. I've been doing lots. Like I have a massive list I have a note here called Tyler's Catch Up. And it's probably like the last month of stuff that I've been trying to squeeze into the episode, but we just keep talking about other stuff and that's all good. So, and we're probably going to have to do that again this time. But part of my theory crafting was regards to the elementalist. There's that one ascendancy node that's called... It's coming. I'm just loading PoE Planner. It's coming. Shaper of Storms. And the one modifier on Shaper of Storms that I guess it's not a mod, but whatever. All damage can shock. Hits always shock. All right. So that's what I'm thinking about. Now, when it comes to totems, like there's always like these weird if, ands, or buts in Path of Exile, right? But then there's some rules, right? So totems, they aren't you, but they use your stats.
Okay.
Right. So let's say I put, I don't know, my brain's not working, but like if they're to gain an endurance charge or a frenzy charge, I don't gain them. They gain them. You know what I mean? No, I don't think they can gain them, but that's kind of the point. Like if they do a kill for you and that kill would earn a frenzy charge, you don't get it.
Apparently, unless it's a dot.
Right. So, you know, there's a lot of little things like that where you're like, oh, that would be really cool, but I can't do that with a totem because it's going to go to the totem. It's not going to go to me. And so like, I'm trying to figure stuff out. And so I was trying to come up with a way to enjoy using a bow with the Reaper but not have the, in my opinion, clunky gameplay of all the buttons that need to be pressed to enjoy the Reaper build with the bow. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have like 3 or 2 active skills with it. I just want the one button play style that I like. And so I'm like, and like the aiming and stopping and aiming, it just wasn't the part of the play style that I was wanting if I was self-cast, or I don't know. It's what's it called? Not self-casting when you're using an attack skill. What's it called? I don't know, self-attacking.
That seems right.
So anyway, so I try putting, what was it? Ensnaring arrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried putting ensnaring arrow and GMP on totem, and the totem shocked the enemies, but it's not me hitting the enemies.
Because it's getting the benefit from your ascendancy or what?
Yeah. But then, so then that confused the crap out of me. I'm like, how is this working? Like, it's not supposed to work like that. I'm not hitting the totem. Or sorry, I'm not the totem. The totem is hitting the enemy, and the enemy is getting shocked.
Doesn't the totem get the benefit from you, though?
I see. That was one of the things that, like it says on Shaper of Storms, hits always shock.
Yeah. So I would think that the totem, because the totem gets the benefit from you, just not the other way around.
Oh, I guess it's not gaining anything.
Right.
Oh, see, overthinking again, man. Overthinking. That's just how Path of Exile works. That's right. Okay, no, it makes sense. Which means a lot of my other ideas that I've nixed before I put them on paper could have worked too. Oh, that's
Back
a lot
to
more.
the drawing
That's
board.
a lot more. Just like in general for so many other builds that I was thinking about. Oh, dang it. It's like good news that turns into bad news. Okay, no, that makes sense. Well, anyway, PoE confused me for a while because I thought it was contradicting itself. It wasn't, but it was, the classic overthinking, having a good time. Awesome. No, I've had a fantastic week. I've been playing Path of Exile. I didn't play Path of Exile after the private league this week. It was nice to have a break, but I have lots in my mind that I really want to put into gameplay. So I'll be playing lots of both my Reaper build and my Bone Zombie build this week, as long as I have time. Are you going to
play any of the events that they do?
No, the events never interest me, and these ones are the same. No. For me, I mean, for lots of reasons, the events themselves don't interest me. I don't play to get items. Even though I play standard, I don't play to keep legacy items. I like staying with the current core version of the game to make sure that my builds work in the core version of the game. And then 50%. I mean, I'm not going to try and die, but it's just, I don't know. No, I'm good. I have my standard characters that I play, and they're still not fully leveled the way that I want them to be. So we're good.
It'd be fun modifier in private league would be that death. So make it softcore. We make it softcore, but deaths, any death will make you lose a level, and you can actually de-level.
That would be terrifying.
So if you were 58 and a half, you become 57 and a half if you die. I think that would be fun.
Of course it would. Of course it would.
All right. I don't think I'm going to play the events either. The Crangled one bothers me because you don't get to see what's happening. The Blast from the Past would be fun, except that I'm not a huge fan of Calandra's one, so that's kind of meh. What was the last one? The final one?
I don't know. Wait, we can go to the events section and find out.
Oh, yeah. What was the last one?
Shifting stones. What's that?
Which means what? Don't know because you can't click it.
Right. So now I click on Shifting Stones, and at least it gives us the date and the time.
Yeah, there really should be a link in there that tells you like what's going to happen in it.
Yeah,
okay, well, I don't remember what Shifting Stones is. I feel like it's is it one of those ones where like random modifiers happen to the zone?
I don't know.
When you're in them? Let's say that's what it is, because we can't find it and I'm not going to go look for it.
Boss kill event winners. November events FAQ. No, November events.
What's Shifting Stones?
Here, each area you will encounter one of the following league mechanics, which has been enhanced by a corresponding Atlas keystone.
Oh,
so every area is either Tormented Spirits with the new keystone, Blight, Legion, Delirium, or Beyond with their new keystones.
Wasn't there a couple keystones where you don't know what they do? Because I remember being bugged.
Well, they don't list what any of them do, but it would be like the Tormented Spirits are when you're the spirit, and then you hat the rest. Blight would be that you do so much less damage and your towers do more. Legion was the...
Man, if it's affected by that, you better get a freaking Blight in the zone.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah. And then
It'd be funny if you don't.
Timeless Conflict is where like that other bar builds up instead of it being time based. The Delirium is that it doesn't time out, but you don't get orbs. And Beyond, I don't remember Beyond.
Just get Beyond. That would be funny if the actual event, like the Atlas Keystone, can spawn, but the event itself could not. Like there's a chance for it not.
Oh no, they're all combined.
Hopefully.
But that would be funny, yeah.
Let's wrap this up. 213 Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Don't forget to hit that 5-star on Spotify and Apple. Patrons will see you in After Dark. Everybody else will see you next week in 214. Good luck if you're playing some of the events this week. If you're looking for more information, you'll find down below. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. We have a very fun Discord. You should be in there and saying hello. And Patreon's other way to support the podcast. You'll find them down below as well as on our website. Ciao.
Bye, bye, bye. Oh, wait, that's not Spice Girls. No, that's Jenny from the Block. Oh, I'm all over the place. Oh, you were talking Spice Girls.
That's In Sync or something. In Sync or Backstreet Boys?
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Same diff.